Hello everyone, I am Dr. E.V.N. Jyothi. Today we will learn structures. In C programming, while solving real world problems, we often deal with entities that contain multiple related data items of different types. For example, a student has a roll number, student has a name, and student has a marks. And I'm taking another example. Employee has an ID, name, salary, and department. Handling such related data using basic data types or arrays becomes difficult and inefficient. So, to overcome this limitation, the C language provides a powerful feature called structures. What is the definition of structure? A structure in C, it is a user-defined data type that allows us combine variables of different data types under single name. Different data types under single name. Why structure is needed? Let us understand the need for structures step by step. An array can store only homogeneous data, that is same data type. For example, if we are declaring the data type as an integer int space a of 10, what is the meaning for this? An integer array can store only integer values, and I am defining another variable float space b of 5. What is the meaning for this? A float array can store only floating point values. However, in real life application, a student record needs student roll number, student name, student average. I am taking another example also. An employee record needs employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Suppose I want to assign the value for the roll number. I am defining the data type is integer and the name as a character and average as a float. Since these values belong to the different data types, integer, character, float, but it represents a single entity. What is that single entity? Student. Okay, for this arrays are not suitable. Therefore, structures are used to represent such real world entities effectively. Now, what is the syntax of a structure? The general syntax for defining a structure is struct space structure name followed by braces different data type with different data members. Different data types with different data members. Okay. Like this, we have to define the structure. And structure ends with the semicolon. Structure starts with the keyword struct, followed by structure name, followed by braces. Within the braces, different data types with different data members. And structure ends with the semicolon. This is general syntax of a structure. I want to explain with an example. Struct space student within the braces, I am defining two data members. Okay, int space roll number. Roll number is one data member. Which type? Integer. Okay, average is the another data member and I am defining float data type. Okay, this is my structure. How many data members we define here? Two data members. One is roll number and another one is the average. Okay, structure is a derived data type which contain collection of different data types with different data members grouped together under a single name. This is the example of a structure. Now, we have to learn about the object. What is the use of object? Object, an object of a structure is a variable that allows us to access the values and store values in the data members of a structure. Why object is required to access the data members? A structure definition only specifies what data members exist. What data members exist. It does not allocate memory. Memory is allocated only when object is created. Data members belongs to the object, not directly to the structure. Therefore, objects are required to access the data members where we have to define the object. See the syntax here, ma? Here, struct space, structure name within the braces, different data types with different data members. After closing braces, before the semicolon, we can define the object name. We can define the object name here. Now, see the example. I am defining struct space employee within the braces int space employee ID float space employee salary. These two data members I am defining in the structure. What is the object name? I am taking E. E is the object name. Now only we learn the object. What is the use of the object? A structure definition specifies only data members exist. What data members exist? It does not allocate the memory. Okay, memory is allocated only when object is created. In this example, what is the object we defined? E. After saying the object, immediately we are allocating the memory for the data members. What are the data members we define in this structure? Employee ID and employee salary. What is the data type of the employee ID? Integer. So how much memory you are allocating for the employee ID? 4 bytes of memory we are allocating. What is the employee salary data type? Float. So for the employee salary also we are allocating 4 bytes of memory. Immediately we are allocated the memory for the data members. Now tell me the size of object. 8 bytes. Why 8 bytes? Because for the employee ID 4 bytes memory will be allocated and employee salary also 4 bytes of memory will be allocated. So now tell me what is the size of object? 8 bytes of memory. 8 bytes of memory.